to obliterate Iran. Play this clip.
President, thank you very much. You've said glory be to God in this conflict. Do you believe that God supports the United States' actions in this
I do,
war?
because
And have you
God
sought
is
his direction?
good, because God is good, and God wants to see people taken care of. God doesn't like what's happening. I don't like what's happening. Everyone says I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy it. These two guys don't enjoy it. You know, people say, "Oh boy, they're so tough." I don't like seeing people killed. I've ended 8 wars. Nobody's ever done it. The person who won the Nobel Prize came to me and said, "You deserve the Nobel Prize." She announced that.
Hey, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth with sincerity. Yeah, this is Rob. I'm out for the Nebraska camp, man, and it's going to be a little, prophecy update, man. Of course, they had a ceasefire that happened on Tuesday, that transpired, but it still doesn't negate everything that happened and that came to pass. Which that ceasefire is, we believe is just a ploy or something, just a stage, because according to prophecy, this thing is going to escalate. Okay, so this is just nothing but a quiet before the storm, or just a wave, however you want to put it, but it will escalate according to prophecy. All right, but getting back to what I was saying is that in the post-production you hear the audio that Trump saying that the Most High is with him. Okay, and that's scripture, because they think that the Most High, because they get away with so much wickedness, that the Most High is even like unto him, even like unto them, and which is going to make them want to further their affliction on the people, and that type of affliction is being broadcast in many ways. People are watching them, blow up schools. People are watching them just pretty much be dragged by the collar by the small hats. All right, and people are watching and experiencing, economic problems, from them going into Venezuela, taking their crude oil, then going over into Iran and attempting to take theirs as well, control their oil over there. Meanwhile, he doubles down and says that they don't need the oil in Iran, but yet the gas prices in America is skyrocketing. Okay, amongst many other things that's transpiring, man, and it's a bunch of affliction left and right. You can see people being bought out. You can see an agenda. This is not just a war of, human rights and America trying to portray themselves to be the good guy. All right. So I wanted to get some precepts. We're going to start off in Nahum chapter 3. It says, "Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not." This bloody city, which is America, is full of lies and robbery. Sorcery. You go on CNN is this. You got green screen from the Seakirk situation to data centers to the processed foods and the GMO and the labeling of it, the spraying on the foods, the chemicals. Okay. It's just an overwhelming amount of wickedness that's being placed on the American people. Tylenol, giving autism and cancer and cure for cancer and diabetes and the medical expenses, and other countries having free medical expenses. And it's just, shit on top of shit. So going to verse 2, it says, "The noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and the prancing of horses, and of the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots, the horseman lifteth up both the bright sword and a glittering spear. And there is a multitude of slain, And that's why we said it's going to escalate. The scripture says it's going to escalate, just like it says here. The glittering spirits talking about those nuclear missiles, man. Okay? And it says there is a multitude of the slain. All right? And it says in a great number of carcasses, and there is none in of their corpse. They stumble upon their corpses because of the multitude of whoredoms of the well-favored harlot. You see? So one of the whoredoms that's being obvious right now is that, again, the Babylon, the whore that sitteth upon a dragon, is being dragged around by the small hats. And even the right-wingers, the Republicans, and again, this is not no political thing. Us prophets are neither left wing or right wing or none of that, man. It's just that there's because Esau tried to manipulate your words and try to, categorize you to, demonize you or try to say things against you that you haven't even said or stand on, So they'll call you left wing and then all of a sudden say you're with the LGBT and all this and that, type stuff. So they do that they do these semantics game of semantics. Okay. But the point is that, Esau has his whoredoms and his witchcraft, which he uses to deceive the people. But since people running to and fro and knowledge being increased through the unicorn, which is the World Wide Web, this information is passing and going through, and ideas and angles and analogies and concepts and truths and lies are all being passed through the web. Even this war that we're seeing, all this bombing and this and that, we're seeing propaganda. Just, we're getting updates via tweet. You got Trump, talking about how he's going to kill somebody and bomb people on Easter, even coming up with putting up posts saying he's going to blow Iran to oblivion. Pretty much he don't care about the people. But wait, weren't you proclaiming about women's rights? And that's why you're trying to free the women, So it's all propaganda, And they just use these angles, and they just keep using these angles to justify them going over there and taking those resources and, trying to set up a puppet leader, okay, and things of that nature, because they thought they was going to do what they did to Venezuela, to Iran. But as the scriptures say in, 2nd Ezra, they're going to rage against the Carmanians and they're going to waste a portion of their armies, okay? But getting back to it, it says, because of the multitude of whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, which is America, and that's the whore that sitteth upon a dragon, all right? The mistress of witchcraft, all right? The seller of that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft, all right? Because then you're talking about taking over Cuba, you're talking about taking over Greenland, all right? You're talking about taking over all these countries and nations, and you're also selling them. You're selling European nations over. You're selling them out. Doing backdoor deals. The Board of Peace compared to the United Nations, the UN. Okay. It says, verse 5, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. And that's what's happening via the unicorn, via the prophets. All right. To the point that they're even using the talking points of the prophets to, further, try to use their agenda. But whether truth or pretense, Yahushua is preached, these prophecies are coming to pass and people are spreading the word, okay, which is beautiful, all right? It says, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. Yeah, you got different declassified documents that's coming out. You got, CIA operations that's been manifested. You got, people that's looking and researching and bringing out things, inconsistencies and incredulities and lies and deceit that Esau has done. And while Esau is in the well-favored harlot is trying to perpetuate that they're the one that's screaming peace, peace, when there is no peace. Okay? It says, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. Okay? And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. You know, and this is why we reference, this is a good point of referencing the connection of, not only is America considered to be the daughter of Babylon, Egypt is also considered Nineveh. Okay? That well-favored harlot is that one that sitteth upon the dragon, the daughter of Babylon. But then it's also calls the city Nineveh because Nineveh was like a port city. It was a hub for resources and products. And you can go into Second Ezra, Salakia, but Revelation chapter 18. All right, when it speaks on the delicacies and how the nations live off the delicacies of America, because America is a consumer nation. All right, it's created consumers in the nation through its education system and its propaganda. You know, it turned people into worker bees / consumers. All right, but America is the place where everybody goes to sell their stuff. All right, it's the red light district of the world. It says, art thou better, Salakia? Verse 7, Amos 3 and 7 says, and it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Whence will I seek comfort for thee? Art thou better than Populus? No. Art thou better than Populus? No. That was situated among the rivers, that had the waters round about it, whose rampart was the sea, and her wall was from the sea. And that's isn't America, you know, best defense is the water. Their borders is the sea. Okay? And proof of that they're trying to create borders for South America. All right? They didn't have borders all this time. All right? It says Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength, and it was infinite. Put and Lubim were thy helpers. Yet was she carried away. She went into captivity. Her young children were also dashed in pieces on the top of all the streets. And they cast lots for her honorable men, and for her great men were bound in chains. And that's what, you know, Lord's will. We going to come to that time where we're going to be the first partakers of the first fruits to put the nobles in chains. All right, because they're going to go into their bunkers and their secret places when these missiles land. All right, so all you guys out here that's saying, you know, we the people and America this and America that, Babylon this and Babylon that, you know, I'm behind my country and my army and this and that, and you take glory in it. Them people are gonna leave your ass. All right. They're gonna leave you in your over taxed mortgage homes. They're gonna leave you stuck while these missiles land and destroy this place. All right, because it will land and it will destroy. All right, pursuant to Revelations the 18th chapter, and you know they're gonna leave you. They're gonna go into the clefts of the rocks. And they're gonna dig their holes. All right, and they're gonna come out. They're going to come out and, you know, and meet the elect, which are going to bound them in chains, man. All right. It says, thou shalt also be drunken. Thou shalt be hid. Thou also shalt seek strength because of the enemy. All thy strongholds shall be like fig trees with the first striped figs. If they be shaken, they shall even fall into the mouth of the eater. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women, and the gates of thy land shall be set wide open in thy enemies, to thy enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars. You know, and the part I want to speak on as well is that, behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. All right. So that's the core nature of America. They've grown soft. All right. They don't know nothing about hardship. Okay. They know nothing about, the concept of war. That's why they scream for war. That's why they scream for so much blood, because this place is the virgin daughter of Babylon, because it hasn't been touched by any military forces outside of his own through the British, okay, and the civil rights. The Civil War, okay, between the North and the South, and also, the war between the U.S. and the British, between the Boston Tea Party. But that don't count because that's internal affairs. All right, they haven't been hit like Ukraine is getting hit. How Iran is getting hit. Okay, how Israel is getting hit. All right, you don't deal with, the San Diego, wherever that bridge in California. You're not dealing with that. The inconvenience. All right, shit. I be complaining about the construction going on around here, let alone a whole block being cleared out. All right. It says, draw thee waters for the siege, fortify thy strongholds, go into clay and tread the mortar, make strong the brickling. Therefore the fire shall devour thee, the sword shall cut thee off, it shall eat thee up like the cankerworm. Make thyself many cankerworm, make thyself many as the locust. Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spoileth and flieth away. So these people, all this merchant, all these deals, just like with these data centers, and I'll put it in post-production, they're doing foreign deals, incentives, being incentivized. A lot of these senates and governments are in the back pockets of these foreign technological technocracies, entities where it's like, people trying to, Amazon, AI, cloud bases, and a lot of these people are foreign, either from Japan or all kind of places where they're giving these politicians, tax cuts, aka lining their pockets up to cause people to suffer, bringing messed up chemicals over here, and then people are finding out people overseas don't even have the bulk of these chemicals in their foods. Okay, and the Americans are getting fed up. All right, and it's a beautiful thing. All right, just the last of the elite races of the little bigots that are just holding on strong, because Esau ultimately has a perpetual hatred for Jake, even if it's to their detriment. They don't care. They'll sit there and say, well, it's the niggers' fault. They did it. They want to blame everybody but themselves, but they drunk the Kool-Aid, because that's how capitalism works. They're going to distract you, give you somebody to put the blame on, put you at a level to where you can look down at that group while they continue to destroy the people and to take advantage of everybody, including the people that think that they're looking down on somebody. Middle class Edomites, they go through many identities. White Christian nationalism is what the new one is. Okay. It says, verse 18, thy shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria. Thy nobles shall dwell in the dust. Thy people is scattered upon the mountains, and no man gathered them. And not only scattered, like that reminds me, like everybody's on their own, man. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, they'll know to make America great again, or go out and live off the grid. They don't know what the hell to do, man. All right, they'll go get a degree, or just get a trade, or just go hustle, or just be an entrepreneur. They don't know. They're all over the place, because the American dream has turned into an American nightmare. Okay? And last verse it says, there is no healing of thy bruise, Thy wound is grievous. You know, just like it says, they shall build, but the Lord shall throw down. There ain't no coming back. This place is embedded. This place has done a lot to a lot of countries over the history of time. And those countries know the truth. Just like that Project Ajax, when those college students went over there and went in that U.S. Embassy, aka the spy center, spy hub of the Middle East. All right. They went in there and got those classified CIA documents that they attempted to shred up and they put together, that wasn't only dealing with Iran, but it was dealing with things that was going on all throughout the Middle East, from Japan, Ukraine, Russia, everything. And people found out a lot of information that became public. Okay. And they're not, and even though in America they don't talk about it and they suppress the truth, those people over there and overseas, they know everything and they push it without legislation and regulation. Okay. It says, all that hear the bruit of thee shall clap the hands over thee, for upon whom have not thy wickedness passed continually. They over everywhere. They like I said, they're messing with Greenland. They did something to Europe. All right. They did something to Iran. They did something to Argentina, Venezuela. They did something to Mexico, Canada. You know, like they just stole deals, cut people out of deals, bombed them, blamed other people, Africa. Like they didn't made too many enemies, man. To where when Babylon goes down, who's going to help her? Nobody. Okay? Only reason why these countries are involved because this is a merchant city. Where are they going to sell their goods? So they got to keep on dealing with them. But America, they know America is a big, bad, unfaithful harlot. You know, that's willing to deal with whoever's wanting to give them a quick buck. So that value of trust and loyalty is not there. Okay? And the Asia Minor found out the hard way through the small hats. Because they were going through with the Strait of Hormuz. You know? They turned around and told Europe, you go finish the job. We did enough. You know, we good. We don't need oil. Y'all go get y'all oil. Crazy, dog. But, that's all I wanted to break out, man. With that being said, matter of fact, I got one more precept I want to get. Psalms 37 and 35. I'll start at 30. It says, the mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. And that's what this lesson is a witness of. All right. We are the righteous, and we're speaking on the judgment and justice that's going to come to these to the world, man. All right. Because even like they're blowing up infrastructures and power plants and bridges, that's a war crime. You're attacking citizens at this point. But again, you're trying to liberate women. That was a part of your argument. All right. But that's just a song and dance that they do. It says the law of his power is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. The wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. All right. Because we're bringing out this truth. So they want to try to come down on us, man. All right. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on the Lord and keep his way. You know, because our hope is the elect. Our hope is in the Lord. A lot of these people are breaking. Christians, Christian niggas, regular niggas, college niggas. All right. Hustling niggas. Okay. A lot of y'all won't be defended, man. And then y'all hope is lost. It says, wait on the Lord and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land, which the wicked are cut off. Thou shalt see it. I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. Yeah, and that's the end, because they can sit here make these treaties. Man, the Lord is going to destroy these people, man. There's no reason why they should be living knowing that they're going to get activated over and over and over again and constantly oppress the people. You can't sit here and punch on somebody and think that they ain't going to do nothing. All right? It's just common sense. But, they could use their sorceries to make you think things are going away, to make you lower your guard. It says, mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. And that's talking about the elect and the nation of Israel. All right? Sitting here try to blame and act like we're the devils of the world, right? Through other avenues, or black people are more prone to violent crimes and all this dumbass shit that they bringing out. Meanwhile, you dropping nukes and talking about you're going to obliterate a whole country. The end of us is going to be peace. That's the reality. You can say what you want. You can lie. You can perpetuate. You empower people. Is going to believe it. You're going to do what you want to do anyway. But at the end of the day, you're going to try to, no matter what we do, you're going to say we're the problem. But the end of us is going to be peace. All right? It says, but the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. All right? Off. Cut clean off. Ain't no bouncing back. Ain't no, I am Groot. Your ass turned to snow. It's over with. All right? But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. With that being said, we're going to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to our apostles who are elders, which are of GMS. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth, sincerity. Shalom.
Hello, my name's Jason. I live at 1776 Boulevard. We're here to talk about tonight.
Jason?
Yeah.
What's your last name and what's your address again?
My last name is Jason We the People, and my address is 1776 Boulevard.
What city?
Freedom City.
Freedom City in what state?
Michigan.
So I know you're making all that up.
Yeah, 100%, because I don't have to tell you anything, because it's my Fourth Amendment right. You know what that is?
According
I
to
think you need to learn the Fifth Amendment right. I don't care about your article. According to Article 6, Clause 2, you're trumped.
According to the rules of the city council, you have to give your name, your proper name and address, or you're not allowed to speak.
So do you think your bylaws trump my constitutional rights? Because that's the way it's looking here. You think your little bylaws here trump all these people's constitutional rights. Remove me so I can sue the dog shit out of the city. Do it, because I'll make sure you don't get no data center. Try it. 42 USC 1983, baby. That's my middle name. You want that name too? Now, back to this Fifth Amendment's takings clause. You can't use no takings clause, Einstein. Guess what? That's for public use. You understand that? You know what public use is? Sure ain't a data center. It's a park, an old folks' home, something like that. It's the Fifth Amendment. It's really not that complicated. You should look into it. By the way, how does it feel sitting up there being a Benedict Arnold to all your people out here? Not one person supports this. How about this? Everybody up here's been asking who supports the data center. How about this? Who don't support the data center? Any other questions? Is there any other questions? Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can see this one together. What remedy do you have for the forever chemicals? You don't got none. So now you're poisoning our land. Is there any foreign money involved in this? I'm pretty sure there is. Ain't Whitler in some hot water over there? Also, non-disclosure agreements. Bad news. I want everybody in this room who lives here to FOIA request every single non-disclosure agreement from any council member, mayor, anybody in this city. You need to FOIA who has one. You won't be able to see what's on it, but you'll be able to see who has one. And then at that time, we got a real conflict of interest, don't we? I think we would. Next thing, who are you having come in here that's putting these underground generators? Oh, you're not. You got these big old power lines going in right now that everybody's talking about. What's that? I mean, have we already made our minds up? Seems that way. Well, anyway, here's your people. Have fun.